Hello, my beautiful darlings. How the devil are you? As normal, I always look at a trend in emails to see what I'm going to talk to you about when I do my spirit speak. That's a good thing, spirit speak. Or soul speak. Soul speak. I'm going to call them soul speak. And Ange is one of them that has emailed. I can't remember the other names, but it's about how I got diagnosed with ME and fibromyalgia. Now, there's lots of people that... Sorry, this is rocking a bit. It's rocking, man. There's a lot of people that think they may have it. The biggest symptoms are chronic fatigue and full body unexplained pain in your joints, muscles and nerves. So I'll take it from the beginning. To be honest with you, my book, Me or Emmy, Myself and I, Diary of a Psychic, kind of takes you through the whole process of this. So that might make it easier for you, because I've got loads of tips on how to help treat it and how to deal with it holistically. Because trust me when I tell you, on diagnosis, you will get no help from the doctor whatsoever. You'll be given hope of the ME clinic, and you'll be given hope of the pain clinic and rheumatology, and it's a complete waste of time. Absolute incredible waste of time. You know, they ask you to do Tai Chi and they strike you off if you're too ill to go. It's just a complete waste of time. You are best holistically sorting yourself out. I can't even say it, holistically sorting yourself out. So I'll tell you more about that in a minute, but I'll just tell you what's going to happen if you feel you have got it. Ordinarily, the reason why I feel that society makes ME or chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia such a low-level issue, even though it is a very concerning pandemic where suicide levels are rising and people die from it, but we don't care about that apparently, do we, society? We are tested for everything else. What happens is you'll be the fittest person in the surgery when you have blood tests. It will all come up negative. You possibly may get a slant on vitamin D and vitamin B. Okay, that is the only marker that could give them a clue that there is an issue with you. Okay, so apart from that, it's as I say, the reason why it's viewed so I don't know what the word is. It's not viewed at all, to be fair. But it's like we've eliminated everything else, so we're going to give you this label because we can't find what's wrong with you. That's basically how the attitude was that I got from all of the different departments. And I was disgusted and still am. They don't listen to you. They don't care. They don't want to know. They don't know how to treat it. They don't know how to cope with you. And they just do not acknowledge this condition. They, as in the rheumatologists, GPs, doctors, specialists, pain specialists, they just don't want to know. If you've got someone that dies, you're very lucky. So what they do is they'll give you blood tests first of all, and they come back perfectly fine. As I say, you may get vitamin D and vitamin B markers as being low, okay, where they'll give you vitamin B1 or vitamin 12 injections along with vitamin D. Sometimes your iron levels could be down a bit as well. And they say, well, there's nothing wrong with you there. And they give you, does this hurt there? Does this hurt there? Well, your whole body hurts. So they're like, oh, okay, look at you like you're hypochondriac. I don't want to make it sound like I'm being negative, but you need to have I keep it real and I'm telling you how it is. And this is how we're treated. They then refer you to rheumatology and you go and see your rheumatologist. Mine was a complete a-hole. He basically was... Look at that, I just got my foot up. Did you see that? That's good, wasn't it? I need to cross my leg. So he was a basic a-hole. He did not believe in ME. He said it's not a condition, but if it makes you feel better, because there's nothing else wrong with you, we'll give you that, because you have scans, x-rays, possibly have a CAT scan or an MRI scan, nothing comes up, okay? Another thing from the blood test, you may get slight inflammatory markers. I've got very high ones, but again that doesn't matter apparently. So you may get that. So then you get taken from the rheumatologist, and then they send you to neurology to test your nerve endings. You get sort of nerve testing, reflex testing, and ordinarily that comes back normal as well. So at the end of it, you end up either going back to the rheumatologist or your GP, who says, well, we've tried everything else, and this took me a year of appointments which were agonising and exhausting, to be told, oh, you've got ME and chronic fatigue syndrome. I've actually got both. How can you get both, as you say? Well, it's really not very scientific. The because then they refer you to the pain clinic, right? So you think, oh, great, someone's going to understand it. They're all going to know about it. Went to the pain clinic and I said, well, what's the difference between chronic fatigue syndrome or ME and fibromyalgia? She goes, nothing really. She goes, which one is worse with you? Are you more tired or do you get more pain? I went, well, they're both equally the same. She goes, oh, you got both then. It's like, wow, that was rocket science. I could have done that myself. So that's the difference, is it? She went, yeah, pretty much. I went, right, okay. So they then throw at you, which I absolutely, I just want to tell you, don't do it. It's up to you though, right? I'm just giving you my view on it all and my experience from it and speaking with hundreds and hundreds of people with this condition. They then throw the likes of gabapentin at you, amitriptyline, antidepressants. They put you on duloxetine, and because you're so desperate to be relieved from the pain, the misery and the fatigue, you take it trusting your doctor, and it turns out it's a red label in America and you can't get off it, and I'm still stuck on it now. Physically, you get brain zaps and you get very unwell if you miss taking it. I've tried everything under the sun to get off it, other antidepressants. Well, I think apparently after 60 milligrams, it's good for nerve pain. Didn't touch me at all. They gave me Oromorph, so I was on Oromorph as well. There are so many different types of nerve killing painkillers. That basically all they do is just wipe you out. They make you feel even more comatose than you already are. I went through the stage of it though. I was so desperate to get out of the agonising pain I was in that I went through whatever they told me to have. And then within a couple of days, I'm like, oh my God, this is like, I'm just like a zombie. And then it will take you another 2 weeks to get back to see the doctor. It'll be a different doctor, so you have to explain it all again. Then they recommend the same shit they've put you on already. You tell it don't work. They look at you and think, oh God, you're hypochondriac. And then they throw some other shit at you. Tramadol, codeine, cocodamol, that then makes you completely constipated. And you're then in agony with your stomach because digestive issues are a massive thing with this condition. I suppose at this point I would, you know, perhaps mention some symptoms. It's best if you Google it because there's over 200 symptoms. For me, the mainstream is all over pain. My back is normally the worst pain ever, despite me having treatment every week. It just never, ever eases. It is permanent pain in my back. You never, ever, ever are out of pain. It's just the level of pain you're in. Some is teeth gritting, I want to die pain. It's not 1 to 10, it's like 10 to 100. You know, where do you range from 10 to 100? Suicidal pain, it can be. And as I say, it's muscles, joints, tendons, eye sockets, scalp, hair follicles moving in your hair, being touched, easily bruised. The slightest touch feels like a punch or someone's just put their knuckle in. It's that sort of pain. It's if you've never experienced this condition, you have got no idea how horrific the pain is. It's just, you've got no idea. So please, if you know someone that's got this and you're cross-watching this video, know that they are in agonising pain. The only reason you don't know, because it's an invisible illness, is because we don't moan about it all the time. Okay, so for instance, as I sit here today, you never know how you're going to wake up. It's a lottery, and I say that in my book. Today, my knees are in pain, my hips, the whole of my back, my jaw's hurting as I talk to you. My eyes are really tired and in pain, and I feel like they're wooden inside as I move them. For some reason, my eyebrows are kind of hurting. Fingers are sore, hands are sore. I can't use cutlery today because I can't grip it. It hurts too much. But I don't tell you that, you see. I bring the light, and this is what I'm trying to do, and this is what you need to do with this situation. You get digestive issues, IBS, you can get incontinent, which I was for a few years, both bowel and front garden. Men might get even more problems with prostate, bladder issues. It then exacerbates gynae issues for the ladies. You get swelling in your ankles, wrists, face can swell, don't know why or how. You get ear sensitivity, which I've got today. I've had to leave the windows open because it's 28 degrees. And when the cars go past, it sounds like they're actually driving within an inch of my ears. You get light sensitivity, which I've got at the moment as well. I didn't want to put my sunglasses on because if someone watches this video first time, think, oh my God, who do you think she is? It's Nicky Alan, man. So I'm like, no, I can't do that. But if I look that way, my eyes start to really hurt, because I've got eye sensitivity today. What joy we behold. As I say, you are never ever refreshed after sleep. You're never ever refreshed. I live permanently fatigued, and again, it's the level of 10 to 100 of how much fatigue there is. Sometimes when it gets too much, it will start to close down your coping skills, your mechanisms, where you just you need to switch off. This happened to me last weekend. I went to bed on the Friday afternoon. And you'll know if you read my newsletter that I couldn't make Robbie Williams or Get to Essex, and I slept for, I think it was a day and a half, straight the way through. I woke up perhaps for a glass of water, a cup of tea that was brought into me, and perhaps went to the loo a couple of times, and that was it. After I slept, I kind of felt better mentally and physically, but you know, it only keeps you going for a certain amount of time. So you are tired all the time. They refer to it as TAT, T-A-T-T. But it is a level of exhaustion that you cannot even begin to imagine if you haven't got this. It's just, I would say, if you've gone out drinking all night, got in at 5 in the morning, got woken up at 5:45, had to go down the gym, go for a 10-mile walk uphill, up a mountain, with no food, and then got home, and then you had screaming babies that you had to bath and wash and put into bed, and then you eventually sat down at 10 o'clock at night. That's a little bit what our fatigue's like. It is a heavy, dragging, awful fatigue that you just physically don't want to cope with life, because it is so horrific. This isn't a poor me. This isn't a, oh my God, this is me giving a reality check to people out there. One, if you know people have got this, and two, if you're thinking, have I got it? All right, see how many boxes you tick. So it's going to be quite a long video, this one. But you can always come back to it. So I don't mind sharing it if it's going to help you, okay? Especially you, Ange, because you're the last one I remember who emailed. Also, with the fatigue, your mind, I used to like, you know, be on murder investigations, and now I can't even cope with a little bit of stress. I just lose the plot. Darren is absolutely fantastic. He is such an amazing rock. He's so calm, whereas I've always been a drama queen, I admit it, but I just can't cope. It just flatlines. And there's been lots of frustrations with getting the office done, and I just lose the plot. And I just shut down and think, no, I'm done. I just don't want to deal with anything for anymore. I just need to go and do something, or duvet it, okay? You'll have the inability to cope with social situations. You will not want to go out. You will lose friends because they're sick of you cancelling short notice. Because we never know how we're going to be. So if we say, yeah, we're going to meet for lunch next week, and that day we're totally knackered and are in agony, we phone out, oh, sorry, we can't make it. And it's okay to begin with, but after a while they're like, okay, and then you don't really hear from them a lot. The good friends stay with you, the ones that understand it, and they're the ones that say, okay, well, we'll just do another day, or they'll come around and just sit with you. The problem with this condition is that we are so desperate to have people around us, because there's so many people that get so lonely with it, because most of us are forced to work from home, which I am. I've had to adapt my life around my condition, and it's just mortifying, because I could be out there touring the world now, bringing the afterlife, heaven, angels and the spirit world to you, and I can't. And it takes a lot, which I'm going to just move on to in a minute, in respect of mental health, because you grieve your old life. So not only are you trying to grab hold of this new life, gain control of it, and try and get some sort of life, you're remembering what you used to be able to do. So I go back to when I used to be able to rock climb, canoe, caving, kayaking, swimming, you name it, horse riding, everything I used to do. I was an outdoorsy girl. I loved anything that was a bit woohoo. And now I'm like, oh. And I've expected to feel that when I was like 80. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I used to do that. Jesus. Not at 40 when I got it. So you have to get your mindset around, and this is what my book's all about. You have to get your mindset around your new state of being and make some massive decisions Like, for instance, I know I ended up homeless. Also, you get a weak throat as well, which is happening now. But you know, I ended up homeless, as some of you may know, and I lost everything. And I had loads of money coming in. Not that I wanted or needed loads of money. It was just there, basically, which was good because I could pay my staff. I lost my home, my holiday home. I had nothing, absolutely nothing. I was homeless for 8 months and just stayed on people's settees, basically. And again, you either go down with it, which I did, or you just fight through. So basically, I decided to go down the rabbit hole for a very long time. Depression is a massive part of this. So if you can get anything from my positivity emails, that's the next one, thank you. I thought it's Catherine who said that. If you can get anything from my positive emails, sorry, see, the next symptom. If you can get anything from my videos about positivity, mindfulness, please do. The other thing is brain fog. What a bitch. And if you then get menopause on top of that, you are really struggling, I've got to say. So now, rather than try and wiggle my way through it, I just say, look, I've got this, most probably, and menopause, and most probably not going to understand a word I'm saying. Can you just please bear with me? And I say that when I get to a stage in a shop or somewhere that I've got to talk and it's just not coming. So brain fog is a massive thing. Trying to find words, searching for words, saying the wrong words, walking into a room and thinking, what the hell am I doing here? Very, very severely bad short-term memory. And it doesn't help that you get insomnia as well, and that most of the time you want to sleep during the day. Your body clock doesn't recognise sleep and rest. So, you know, if I had a fiver for every time someone said to me, oh, well, if you sleep now, you know, you won't sleep tonight. I don't think so, love. And if you have a good night's sleep, you'll be fine tomorrow. It don't work that way either. Sleep is completely irrelevant in an ME body, and it is just drives you insane. You get food intolerances, so you get sensitivities. My body completely rejected sugar, alcohol, caffeine, saturated fat. Still does, to be honest, on all levels. What else? Sugar, dairy, gluten, caffeine. I couldn't eat anything, couldn't drink anything. Not that I needed to, because I was laying in bed like waiting to die. So, oh, happy days. Yeah, so you will get food intolerances and sensitivities that you need to deal with. My absolute, if I could go back to my self back when I was 14 diagnosed, or when I had the road accident, I would say get off this food right now. Processed foods, you don't have to get off it, but really restrict it. But I still 100% do not have caffeine, gluten, sugar, processed foods, drink loads of water, dairy. It's just really not good for us. It's not good for our digestive issues. It's not good for anything. So that fly is really getting on my nerves. So really think about your diet. There's loads of stuff online for you to Google. Ideal diet for ME, ideal diet for fibromyalgia. Avoid inflammatory foods, okay? Try and avoid those. And don't think, Christ, there's nothing I can have. Yes, there is. It's like when I first realised that gluten was part of the problem, I just thought, you are shitting me. I'm going to be eating cardboard and sawdust for the rest of my life because I couldn't have dairy either. But oh my God, the alternatives out there are lovely. The only bummer is a bit more expensive, to be fair. Asda is not as expensive. You just have to shop around to see where the best bits are. So the problem with that is you end up at different shops. The problem with that is you have mobility issues. So the next thing is you need to surrender. And this is what I was saying about losing the house. I had to get a bungalow. I couldn't do stairs, so I had to have a bungalow. And so, you know, people with stairs, perhaps you might have to change your living circumstances. You are disabled as far as, you know, this condition is concerned. So, you know, speak to your local support agencies to get a bath adapter, to get, you know, help and to get a shower room instead of a bath that you can't get into, slopes for stairs, yeah. Banisters to help you, you know, walking sticks, wheelchairs. The day that I got into my first wheelchair, I cried my eyes out. I thought, that's it, I've given up. No, I didn't. I was just helping my body to recover because I needed to, because I couldn't walk very far. Yes, we can walk, but it's agonising, and you pay for it later, which is the post-exertional malaise. Yay! yay. So you could be thinking, do you know what, I feel all right. I feel all right today. You go and do something and then you'll end up sleeping or be completely exhausted for 24, 48 hours after, because you have overdone it. You have to pace yourself. So when I know that things are coming up, like I'm going away next week, I started packing 3 weeks ago, because I do not want to be spending my spoons, as we call them, look up the analogy, on like packing over the 2 or 3 hours. I need to do a couple of bits and then leave it, because it's too much. One spoon will be me packing a few bits and that's it. So we have to pace, we have to plan. If we know we're going to be doing something quite big that we haven't got a choice or we really want to do, then we take like days off. I'm very lucky that I can do that. Very, very lucky. I can't imagine how difficult it is for people that have got children and a mortgage and have jobs that they need to go out there and have to work. Jesus Christ. But sometimes you have to make the decision to surrender and say you can't do it anymore. That's up to you. So it is a very, very difficult social, physical, mental and spiritual condition, because it can break you like a bitch very quickly if you let it. As you know, I've already done a video on it before. My saving grace was low dose naltrexone, which if you Google ldnresearch.org, ldnresearchtrust.org, that's got all the information you need to know. It hasn't got any, there's a couple of side effects of lucid dreaming, get that anyway, and I've done this video already, so go over and pop over and have a look at that video, but you can wean off it and it helps you to get off all the other drugs. Within a week, I think it was, I was off all of the painkillers and I was taking 38 tablets a day. It is absolutely superb. I came off it last year because I felt that it worn down a bit, because my pain was off the scale and I needed to take really strong painkillers, which I didn't want to do, but I couldn't. I don't know why I was in so much pain. And then I went back on it again, and the break did me brilliantly, because it's now got me up and at least I can sit and, talk to you guys. So it really does help me. By all means, share on here what other things that you will try. I have tried cannabis. Medical cannabis cost a fortune. And my body does not like cannabis at all. I stuck with it for about 4 or 5 months and it just doesn't do me any good. By all means, give it a go, but for me it was just crap. It didn't work at all. Everybody says, have you tried this? Have you tried that? I have tried every single holistic therapy you could possibly imagine, believe me. The next thing I need to do is Spooky 2. Try the sound frequency waves on that. But it takes so much to download, it's exhausting me, because you've got so much software to go through and learn, which at the moment I haven't got time or energy to do. That's my next way forward. There is no cure, so get over it and find ways for you to make the best of your life. The more you push yourself, the more that you push against this condition, the worse it's going to be. And that's the truth of it. So you've got to kind of say, right, well, this is what I've got, this is what I need to do, get on with it. The biggest thing you need to do is communicate to your family and friends all of the conditions, or even, type out or print out, the symptoms and say, that's what I go through. I don't want to bore you with it, because I haven't even touched half of the symptoms that you get. Okay, once you've got them on board, life is a lot easier, because so many people write to me and say that they're accused of being lazy, that the husbands are saying, oh, you haven't done the housework, oh, my dinner isn't ready when I come in, and blah blah blah. And it's like, whoa, after you've given him a slap in the face, tell him I've actually got this condition. So definitely, appraising your loved ones of the condition is vital. Otherwise, you're going to be fighting a losing battle, because all the people that are around you that are close, you're going to feel the need or the propensity to say, oh, yeah, I'll do that. Oh, yeah, I'll come along to that. Where really you're going, Jesus, I'm hanging. I just want to go to bed. I'm so exhausted. Because it'll come and get you. If you carry on pushing it, you'll crash, just like I did. I collapsed halfway through a show I was doing, a demonstration of mediumship, like a wally. And then what did I do? Chucked a load of vodka Red Bull and cocodamol down my throat. Oh, those days. So yeah, it's a reality. It's a massive issue that's underrepresented. and misunderstood, and there's not enough funding or support for us out there, so we have to help ourselves. Join forums online. All of the advice is in my book on how to cope and how to move forward with this. You know, if you've got MS centres around you, they will welcome you in to use the hyperbaric chambers, the oxygen therapy, hydrotherapy pools, because nobody else will do it for you. I did ask him my local physiotherapy, and he said, oh no, you just got to go and do Tai Chi. Or whatever, you dick. So that was that. They won't offer it to me. So it's down to you to find the holistic therapies that work the best for you. They're not going to cure it, but they may make life a lot easier for you. And I truly, truly recommend low dose naltrexone, because some people, you can get up to 90% to full recovery taking it. So that's what I've got to say. In it, this is the really happy, clappy video, isn't it? But it's the reality of it. And that's how you get diagnosed, basically. You have to keep badgering your GP, your doctor, get the appropriate test done, and once he'll come back that you're fit as a badger's dog. My God, I've got to stop. Badger's dog. Then they'll give you this, they'll just give you that label. There are MPs in Scotland that are fighting our corner. There's lots of things going on in Parliament in this country. I don't know what's going on in America or other countries, but here they're certainly trying to fight our corner. Sorry about that, darlings. It happens every time. As soon as I want to talk to you, the ding dong bell goes, and it's either Amazon or Every or whatever they're called anymore. So sorry about that. So that's all the negative parts, okay? Please don't despair. That's the most important thing. I've just kind of run through all the negative aspects of it. This is the positive aspects of it, and the word positive is massive. Oh, I can hear the steam train. Love that. So the positives are that you need to get a mindset going that says, okay, I've got a new condition. Not going to give into it, but I'm going to accept that perhaps I need to pace things. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to try this therapy. You know, there's loads of videos on here that should be on a playlist now, you know, about bedding, clothing, underwear, that kind of stuff, because you'll realise there's a whole world of money spent on things to make you more comfortable. It really is. You know, underwear is just wire bras, forget it. And so you kind of start going down this hill of, I'm just old and frumping, I just can't deal with anything. You'll be fine. So what happens is that positivity, once you've got that, you've kind of got half the battle, okay? Your positive mindset and the fact you've accepted it and you can do everything you can to beat it, obviously. You're not going to sit back and be a victim, but being positive. So, for instance, when I have a bad day now, I go, yay! Oh, my God, what am I going to binge watch? Lovely. Come on, Teddy, let's have a little cuddle and we'll watch something in the bedroom. You know, and I kind of look at it that way. Sometimes it still beats me, as it did. I was totally honest with you last weekend. I'd had enough of the pain, the chronic fatigue, the fact that I can't lead a normal life. I couldn't go and see Robbie Williams. I couldn't go and see my family in Essex, and it just really pissed me off. And I let it beat me. But it was only for a little while. Then I dipped into my first session of Prism Living. I did my own healing meditation. And I wrote in my soul journal, I gave myself a card reading, and I thought, right, I'm sorted now after I had the long sleep. And I was right back on track again. It is also an amazing condition whereby you start appreciating the smaller things in life. So if you do manage to achieve a day on the beach, it is magical, because ordinarily you couldn't do it. And, you know, all the things you used to take for granted, you start really being grateful for. So you become a better person from it. You start listening to your body. You start respecting your body. You start being mindful of what you're putting in it and what to not put in it, which is really good. You end up a lot more healthier in appetite, atmosphere, stress relief. In that way, obviously you've got a condition, but I'm mindful to take mindful walks. I'm mindful to meditate. I'm mindful to be in calm. I'm mindful to keep away from people that drain me. I'm mindful to keep away from people that might upset me or don't appreciate my condition. You start to own it. You start to grow a bit of self-love for yourself, which I never had, which is a lovely bonus. And you start to be more connected to your inner child and your higher self than you've ever been in your whole life. You stop and listen, because the warning signs have been there for ages, and then your body will break, your mind will stop, and it'll just go, enough, I can't do it anymore. And that's when you realise, oh shit, I've got a problem. So just have a look at all the other videos that I've done on this, because I'm sure I've done loads with tips and things to, you know, help you along. Find a forum, one, you know, either on Facebook, one that isn't about everybody whinging, because there are a few of them. You just think, oh Christ. Find one that's positive, where people are there to cheer each other up and have a laugh. Also, if you want to have a look at the LDM forum on Facebook, because that's really informative and really helpful, and you can get a lot of answers from there. So all it takes for me to do, my fellow spoonies, my lovely little warriors, is to say, hang on in there. If you feel you have got it and there's a lot of symptoms you recognise in this, go straight to your GP, say what your concerns are, don't take no for an answer. And go through the motions to get the diagnosis. Once you get the diagnosis, then it's up to you to decide how you want to handle it. Whether you want to put a load of chemicals in your body that the doctors give you, or try holistic therapy, is entirely up to you. Whatever you're comfortable with, it's not for me to say. You do what you're comfortable with. All I'll say is don't fight it, because one day it will get you and tell you, no, you're not doing any more. I really do wish you well. Please let me know how you cope in the comments below. Please let me know how you were diagnosed, perhaps. Just anything that's going to help the tribe. Please just add in the comments below. And this really is very important. I say this nearly every video, but do think good things. Do create good things, because they will come back to you and make your life so much easier. Okay, honesty is key to this condition. If you're honest with yourself, people around you, and how you're feeling, you're going to ride it so much easier. So I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll speak to you again very soon. God bless you all, my beautiful tribe. Bye now.